This is Inside Tokyo's Craziest Tiny Apartment by Tokyo Lens. Let's see.
Apartment I've been to in Japan so far, and it's expensive for what you get. And yes, it's
so
crazier
small.
than the triangle apartment in several different ways. But let me show you what nearly $1,000 gets you in one of the more expensive areas of Tokyo, Japan. This is it. 360
Oh my God.
degrees of this. This goes all the way around, by the way, and despite
Oh my
having a lot of
God.
features that make it oddly functional, the entire thing is basically like a giant indoor balcony. It's a solarium.
That's
It's
so funny.
completely wild. Like, look at this.
No curtains or
And
anything.
That is a toilet. But before we get into everything,
No
that makes
curtains
this
in the
place
bathroom.
as crazy as it is, I want to show you the stairway. Claustrophobics beware, this is not going to be a pleasant experience.
Oh,
for
no.
you. This center column stairwell
That's how you
runs the
leave.
entire building from top to bottom. But these staircases are narrow. Smack my head off this.
God, you really gotta hope you never break a leg.
At least there's a handrail here, but I take up basically the
Imagine living on the top floor and you
width
break your leg.
of this
You're not
hallway.
going home.
Tunnel. Call it a tunnel. It's a very confining experience. Luckily, it's still not nearly as bad as that last one. And then
Oh God,
opens
that's
up to
terrifying.
a window here before going into the apartment. It feels a little weird to even call it an apartment. Would you call this an apartment?
No.
Also, where would you sleep?
I'd
what
call
I'm
this a
trying to
cubby
figure out.
house.
That'll be
This
one
is
of
a
the
tree
mysteries
house
that
with
we
no
try to
tree.
solve as I give you the full 360 tour of this place. So starting
It's
right
just
at
a
the hallway
treeless
main
tree house.
entrance, this apartment changes completely when you put down all the blinds. There's a shoe rack
There
here
are
with,
blinds.
like, 3 umbrellas for some reason. And that leads us right to the toilet area.
You have to go over the
with
toilet to get to the
bath.
shower.
Does this just open? This literally
That's
just
scary.
is a pane of glass that swings
That's
open.
I would be
I
scared
cannot
to
be the
shower
only
in there.
person who feels like I would break that in my first month living here.
Yeah,
Above the
exactly.
bath,
I feel like I'd
there's
fall out.
Also this here space, which is a vent for all the steam with no cover. And it looks like you can actually open up the window next to the bath. Yes, you can.
Oh,
so you just have
no.
a bath with a wide open window.
Oh, that's
and as you can
terrifying.
see, this is not the only tiny building in the area. The whole area is ripe with them.
That's
We'll
so
take a peek at the
scary.
street later on. And I'm definitely spoiled from living in Japan too long because this toilet is far too low tech for a Japanese home. There's no washlet, there's no bidet. It is just toilet and flush. And
It
this
doesn't look
drawing is
comfortable. It's so
supposed to be that way, so I'm
short.
breaking the place already. This
It's so
whole space,
short.
by the way, from window to edge is only 90 centimeters. I can
It's not even a
literally touch
meter.
window and wall with my elbows. There's an emergency escape ladder here, which seems like it would likely just lead you onto that person's rooftop. And then around this corner is where we have our washer and what is this control
least it's
panel?
built in,
Video
I
interphone for the
guess.
front door, gas controls, a whole bunch of mystery switches, and then your washing machine.
Oh no.
Now, front-loading washing machines are not super common in Japan. Top loaders are more commonly used, but Japanese washing machines will also sometimes have a dryer function in them, but it can be incredibly slow, like 4 to 6 hours for one load.
Oh.
And I guess that brings us to what you might call the kitchen area. There is
the
a sink,
kitchen.
which is just slightly larger than my hand, and there's a vent for the 2 induction heater stove
That's the
elements here. How do you
stove.
even? Where's the switches for them? How do you control any? Oh, it's touch panel. Okay.
Oh, no.
This here is actually the air conditioning unit for the. I've never
the
seen
aircon.
this particular air conditioner.
This is
oh wow, and
terrifying.
it's not stable, so I shouldn't touch it. It says open here. What happens when I? Okay. I also just noticed that these just barely fit together. They literally had to scrape off the bottom of the sink just to get that in. Okay, I just found
See,
a really
I'm the
cool
kind of
feature that I wanna show you, but
uncoordinated,
for anybody
where I
screaming
would-
hatred of narrow spaces,
I would
for watching
open
this, by
that
the way. Good news.
washing machine
This is
door, and it would
actually-
cause me to trip
There's not
backwards
even enough
out that
space to
window
fold in this.
straight
This is
away.
actually 95 centimeters. So it's
Oh, yay.
5 centimeters wider than over there. I can still
It's
touch
not even
both sides
even.
of my
That bugs
elbows.
me. That bugs
I've
me.
been baffled my entire
It's not
time
even all the
here
way
at
around.
Complete and utter lack of power outlets. There's none there in the, would that be the main room? There's none by the toilet, which I know sounds crazy, but it is a heated toilet. They've at least given us that. And
Heated?
then I noticed this. The outlets are hidden right here.
Not the
under
floor
So
outlets.
there are 3 in here, but how
That's so
many
cursed.
in the entire apartment? Also, does this not just make you
I
feel
would
like you
fall.
were genuinely just
I
standing
would
on a
trip
ledge
and
for a
fall.
person? Seemingly
That
not
is
in
the
the
most
kitchen.
stressful. I'm scared of
Gotta be somewhere
heights.
hidden back there.
I don't know if you know this. I'm scared of
They
heights.
found
This makes me feel
2
bad
more
inside.
in the main room with internet and TV connection.
Oh, no.
And then one hidden right here
Oh,
behind
no.
the toilet and right beside the bath. It's the perfect place for it. Assuming that I found them all and that I've counted correctly, that is 5
Yeah, no, you're so
power
right. The
outlets
impulses
for
would
the
get me, and I'd think I
entire
could like jump out and start
unit.
running
And
across other
now
people's
we've made
roofs like a
full
superhero.
circle, and there's another sink just 3 or 4 steps away from the sink. It's also wild to me that every side of this
cursed.
apartment has
TV
fully
connection, how would you fit a
openable
TV in there?
windows
I don't
that
know.
run top to bottom.
TV
and there's
where?
nothing but this bar
That's
here keeping you in.
terrifying. I would trip and
Like,
fall.
how safe do you
Oh.
think this is? And you have this tiny mirror, which is placed
Stress,
oddly
stress,
high up,
stress.
considering the average height of Japanese people being somewhere between like 5'2" and 5'7". Also, all of these windows have shades that come down. I want to close them all up and see what this place is like. I've kind of got to try the bath. I love how you can just go 360 degrees around this entire apartment.
I
this
don't. That
shower
stresses
curtain
me
seems
out.
like it wraps all the way around.
Oh my god.
It does, but do I fit into the bath?
Probably not. It's so little.
Okay, I guess the answer is kind of.
It's so
the Google
little.
Street View of this place, though, is terrifying.
Oh
This
God, what's it
building
look
and
like?
the one next to it are very creepily just blurred out. Somebody
I
wants
can
their
imagine
privacy
why.
for something. This is a fairly expensive area. The address of this place is in Hiro, and there's a gorgeous view of Tokyo Tower over there. There are embassies and beautiful homes all throughout this area, and opening the window makes me realize that even if you're sitting down in the bath, people will
Yeah.
see you. There are places where, like, look at this.
Exactly.
Even from
He
a
said
low
people
angle,
want
there
their
are gonna be
privacy for
people
some
who are
reason,
able
so
to
I think the
see
reason is
into
the full
your
glass
bath.
building.
It has gotten really bright. I feel like it's gonna take a while to do all of these.
Oh god, there's so many. They couldn't even like combine them.
There are so many.
They're individual.
That definitely gives a different feel. Privacy-wise, it's not bad. You can't really see in or out. There are 5 of these on each
Yeah, you
side.
can't, but now it feels
4
like a
sides. That's
maze.
20 of these that you would have to open and close multiple times a day. I don't think I
Where
would
do you
it. I
sleep?
think I
Where's the
personally
bed
would
gonna
just
go?
Leave them all closed. Also,
I mean, I guess you could
have
get a
not yet
futon, but
checked the size of the. Would you call this the entrance or the main room? The floor plan for
Yes,
this is
both.
equally as impressive as the apartment
Oh my
itself.
God,
You
that's the
look
floor
at it,
plan.
you have nothing but questions, and this is about 170
so
centimeters
funny.
wide. Which means I'm pretty sure that this is the area where you'd be setting up your futon or Japanese style bedding. You almost certainly wouldn't have an actual bed.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just where would you lay?
I don't know.
I'm guessing probably maybe somewhere around here. Like,
see,
you
I'd have to
pretty
sleep
much have
right
to
up
be
against the wall
this
because
area,
I'd be convinced I'm gonna
this
fall out the
doesn't
window.
work. Neither does this. Then I'm not even gonna try this. There's also no space for storage, so even
Yeah.
if you laid out your futon, where
you keep
would
it?
you pack it up? Or put your clothing.
This is the
or-
kind of house I'd live in
or
a
anything
nightmare.
for that matter.
I've had
It's
stress
amazing
dreams
that
about
this place is
situations
as
like this.
popular as it is. I'm gonna start getting these open again, but they're so long that I gotta walk halfway across the apartment. My Japanese real estate buddy who runs his own YouTube channel hooked me up with the keys for this place at 6:30 in the morning today. Okay, these officially take
That's so
way
funny.
longer to put back up than they took to let down. This apartment, despite its 120,000 yen price tag, is
Per month.
insanely popular. Like, people are booked to see this apartment in the hopes of moving in all day. With the current exchange rate, which has been
I don't think
fluctuating
they're
a
booking to
lot
see if they
lately,
can move
that
in. I
makes
think
this
they're
place
booking to see how
$800
silly the house is.
$900 American per month for this. Like, take a moment to actually imagine
Nightmare.
yourself living here and how you would use it. If you
Unironically,
remember
though,
Ayaka, who's done so many of
better
these
pricing
tiny
than my area.
apartments, who was with
Better
us,
pricing.
her
Listen,
building was actually
Australia,
a
housing
lot
crisis.
like
This is
this
better
one.
pricing,
That's
to be fair.
how I met her. I will link that video there. She's actually a full-time architect right now, which is why she hasn't been able to come along for so many of the recent tours. She will be making another appearance very soon. I will put that in the description box. And
Oh my
this
God, look
is
at it.
what the
It's
building
so
looks like from
silly.
the outside. As you can see, it's also surrounded by
so
tiny
small.
homes and apartments. For some, that is a dream house filled with endless possibilities and excitement. For others, an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, no,
Which
I have
category do
stress
you fall
dreams about
into?
houses
Please
like
let me know
this.
down below. As always, I will link an entire playlist of crazy tiny Japanese apartment videos at the end. Thank you so much for hanging out today, and you know I will see you again real soon.
Amazing. That's so powerful. I love that. That's so powerful. Amazing.